There is a lie you were taught from childhood. A lie so comfortable, so moral-sounding, that it quietly destroys your power. They told you express your emotions. They told you be open, be vulnerable, let people know how you feel. But history tells a darker story. Every powerful man you admire, emperors, generals, kings, strategists, learned one brutal truth early in life. Emotional control is not about suppressing emotion. It is about weaponizing it. And that truth is almost never explained openly. Because once you understand it, you become dangerous. Machiavelli warned that the man who cannot command himself will always be commanded by others. Robert Greene wrote that the most powerful person in the room is the one who reacts last. Carl Jung observed that what you do not control will eventually control you. This video is not about becoming heartless. It is about becoming untouchable. If you are easily offended, easily excited, easily angered, or easily pleased, you are predictable. And predictability is weakness. By the end of this video, you will understand why powerful men appear calm when others panic, why silence terrifies people more than rage, and why the most disciplined individuals rarely explain their emotional rules to anyone. Stay with me, because once you see this, you cannot unsee it. The core problem. Modern culture teaches emotional expression as virtue. Powerful reality rewards emotional restraint as dominance. This contradiction is where most people lose. They believe emotional control means repression. In truth, it means selective exposure. Powerful men do feel deeply. They simply do not leak their emotions to the world. Machiavelli wrote that a ruler must learn how not to be good, not because goodness is evil, but because survival demands flexibility. The same applies to emotional life. Let us begin. Lesson 1. Emotion is information, not a command. Most people treat emotion like an order. Anger says react. Fear says withdraw. Excitement says act now. Powerful men treat emotion differently. They see it as data. A general feels fear before battle but does not flee. A negotiator feels anger but does not explode. A ruler feels joy but does not celebrate too early. Emotion is a signal, not an instruction. Robert Greene explains that reacting emotionally hands control to the environment. Responding strategically takes control back. Imagine two men insulted in public. One reacts immediately, voice raised, posture broken, emotion visible. The other remains still, silent, eyes steady. Which man controls the room? Silence forces others to fill the gap. Reaction feeds their power. Affirmation. I observe my emotions without obeying them. Lesson 2. People respect what they cannot read. Transparency feels honest. But power thrives on opacity. When people know exactly how you feel, they know exactly how to move you. If praise excites you, they will praise you to control you. If insults anger you, they will insult you to provoke you. If rejection breaks you, they will withhold approval. Machiavelli warned that being too open invites manipulation. Powerful men cultivate emotional ambiguity. They smile without revealing joy. They remain calm without revealing fear. They listen more than they speak. This is not deception. This is defense. Jung said, "The most terrifying thing is to accept oneself completely. That includes accepting that not everyone deserves access to your inner world." Affirmation. My emotions are private assets, not public entertainment. Lesson 3. Outbursts are a confession of weakness. Anger feels powerful, but uncontrolled anger is a confession. It announces, I have been touched. In courtrooms, in politics, in business, the man who loses composure loses leverage. Machiavelli observed that cruelty must be executed coldly and efficiently, never emotionally. Emotion clouds judgment. Judgment determines survival. Consider leaders throughout history. The calm tyrant outlasts the emotional hero. The composed strategist defeats the passionate warrior. When you explode, you reveal your limits. Powerful men may choose anger, but only when it serves a purpose. Affirmation. I choose when and how emotion is expressed. Lesson 4. Calm is a psychological weapon. Calmness unsettles people. When others expect reaction and receive silence, anxiety grows. When others provoke and receive nothing, they question themselves. Calm suggests control. Control suggests power. This is why interrogators remain emotionally flat. Why negotiators speak slowly. Why confident individuals do not rush their words. Robert Greene calls this the power of the non-reactive presence. It signals dominance without effort. In chaos, the calm man becomes the center. Affirmation: my calm destabilizes chaos. Lesson 5. Empathy without control is self-destruction. Here is the part no one explains honestly. Empathy is not always a virtue. Unchecked empathy makes you manipulable. It causes you to absorb emotions that are not yours. It pulls you into conflicts you did not create. Powerful men understand emotional boundaries. They can understand suffering without drowning in it. They can listen without agreeing. They can observe pain without sacrificing position. Machiavelli believed mercy without discipline invites rebellion. Emotional control allows selective compassion, not blind sacrifice. Affirmation: I feel without losing myself. Transition: so far, you have learned that emotional control is not coldness. It is precision. But now we go deeper. Because the darkest truth is not how emotions control you. It is how others use emotions to control you. Lesson 6. Emotional triggers are levers in other people's hands. Every time you react emotionally, you reveal a lever. Your insecurity, your pride, your fear of disrespect, your need for validation. Most people walk through life unaware that others are quietly mapping these levers. Machiavelli understood this well. He observed that men are driven more by appearances than reality, and whoever controls appearances controls reactions. If someone knows what angers you, they can move you like a piece on a board. If someone knows what excites you, they can rush your decisions. If someone knows what hurts you, they can destabilize you at will. Powerful men audit their emotional triggers relentlessly. They ask themselves, what reaction of mine benefits others more than me? That reaction must be eliminated or mastered. Affirmation: no one holds leverage over my emotions. Lesson 7. Most people confuse honesty with exposure. You are told that hiding emotion is dishonest. This is false. Honesty is alignment with truth. Exposure is access. You can be honest without being exposed. Powerful men understand that not everyone deserves the truth of their inner state. Jung warned that the persona, the mask, is necessary for navigating society. Without it, the psyche becomes vulnerable. Your emotional mask is not hypocrisy. It is armor. Reveal emotion selectively, strategically, and purposefully. Never emotionally bleed in front of those who benefit from your weakness. Affirmation: I decide who earns access to my inner world. Lesson 8. Reaction speed determines status. Watch group dynamics closely. Who speaks first? Who interrupts? Who rushes to explain themselves? Fast emotional reactions signal lower status. Slowness signals authority. Robert Greene writes that haste reveals insecurity, while patience suggests confidence and power. Powerful men pause. They allow silence to stretch. They let others over-explain. They respond only after the emotional fog clears. In negotiations, the one who speaks last often wins. In conflict, the one who reacts last often controls the narrative. Silence is not emptiness. It is pressure. Affirmation: I move at my own pace, not the world's. Lesson 9. Guilt is the favorite weapon against the conscientious. This is one of the darkest truths. If you are moral, empathetic, and emotionally expressive, you are easier to control. Guilt works only on those who care. Powerful men do not abandon conscience. They master it. They ask, is this guilt earned or engineered? Many people weaponize morality to extract compliance. They provoke emotional responses, then shame you for having boundaries. Machiavelli observed that men are quick to condemn cruelty but slow to condemn manipulation. Do not confuse emotional pressure with moral truth. Affirmation: I do not surrender power to manufactured guilt. Lesson 10. Controlled emotion makes you unpredictable. Predictability is comfort. Unpredictability is power. When people cannot anticipate your emotional responses, they tread carefully. You become harder to manipulate, harder to provoke, harder to dominate. Powerful men break emotional patterns intentionally. They do not always reward loyalty immediately. They do not always punish disrespect visibly. They do not respond the same way twice. Machiavelli advised rulers to vary their methods to avoid being outmaneuvered. Emotional consistency is comforting but exploitable. Strategic inconsistency keeps others alert. Affirmation: I am emotionally disciplined, not emotionally predictable. Lesson 11. The most dangerous people appear calm. History confirms this repeatedly. The most violent revolutions were not led by emotional men. They were led by controlled, calculating individuals. Calmness allows long-term thinking. Emotion traps people in the present moment. Machiavelli admired leaders who could commit difficult acts without emotional collapse. This does not mean cruelty. It means endurance. If you break emotionally under pressure, power will avoid you. Affirmation: my composure is my strength. Transition: now you may be thinking, does this mean I must become cold? No. It means you must become selective. The final truth is the one most people never reach, because it requires brutal self-honesty. Lesson 12. Powerful men practice emotional delay, not emotional denial. This is where most people misunderstand emotional control. They think powerful men feel less. In reality, they feel later. Emotion is delayed until it can no longer interfere with judgment. A ruler does not grieve during battle. A negotiator does not celebrate during talks. Commander does not panic during retreat. Machiavelli understood timing above all else. He wrote that fortune favors those who adapt their nature to the moment. That includes emotional timing. Powerful men schedule emotion privately. They process it alone or with trusted allies, never in public. Affirmation: I choose when emotion is allowed to surface. Lesson 13. Emotional control creates aura. Presence is not volume. Authority is not noise. People sense emotional stability instinctively. When your reactions are measured, your words weigh more. When your silence is consistent, your presence grows. Robert Greene refers to this as the commanding absence of need. Needy emotion repels. Contained emotion attracts. This is why calm individuals often become informal leaders, even without titles. Their emotional gravity pulls others inward. Affirmation: my emotional discipline creates presence. Lesson 14. Most people fear losing control more than losing power. Here is the paradox. People will sacrifice power to avoid discomfort. They will surrender authority to preserve emotional ease. Powerful men accept discomfort. They tolerate loneliness. They tolerate misunderstanding. They tolerate silence. Jung said that growth begins where comfort ends. Emotional control requires enduring feelings without acting on them. This is not numbness. This is strength. Affirmation: I tolerate discomfort to protect my power. Lesson 15. The final rule: never explain your emotional strategy. This is why powerful men rarely explain emotional control openly. Once people know your rules, they test them. Once they know your boundaries, they push them. Once they know your process, they manipulate it. Machiavelli never wrote manuals for peasants, only for princes. Power is preserved through partial visibility. Teach by example, not confession. Let others guess. Let them speculate. Let them adjust themselves around your silence. Affirmation: my strategy remains mine. The dark truth revealed. Emotional control is not about being cold. It is about being so grounded that no one can move you without permission. Powerful men are not emotionless. They are unavailable to manipulation. They feel deeply, privately. They act strategically, publicly. That is the truth rarely explained. Remember this: emotion is information, not instruction. Silence creates pressure. Calm signals dominance. Reaction reveals leverage. Delayed emotion protects judgment. Unpredictability preserves power. Master these and you become difficult to provoke, difficult to control, Difficult to replace. If this video shifted your perspective, support the channel. Like the video to signal the algorithm. Subscribe for future lessons on power, discipline, and psychology. Comment below, which lesson hit you the hardest? Because the more you understand human nature, the less it can be used against you.